Hi guys, and welcome back to SwitchUp. Oh my goodness, this Black Friday sale is looking ridiculous. So we have 10 of the best EU sales coming up. Now don't panic because it's an EU sale. It's very easy indeed to set up a second eShop account on your Nintendo Switch. And also this weekend, when we've got a bit more clarification around the global sales, we'll be doing another list with our best picks. Big thanks to the patrons who support us every single month. With that being said, let's jump into the list. First up then, we have the outstanding Super Mario Odyssey, which is going to be about a third of its price. It introduced a hugely satisfying mechanic whereby you could use your cap to take on the roles of other creatures and enemies in the world. It worked brilliantly, with a highlight being the T-Rex moment. The visuals are absolutely stunning, and they managed to do enough new with the series. If you were a fan of Mario 64, then you're going to be delighted with this game. There is two-player collaborative co-op here as well, whereby one of you can control Cappy. If you've not bought the game yet, it's an absolute must-have, and I think Friday is going to be the cheapest we see that in a long time. Next up, we've got the legendary Breath of the Wild on the Nintendo Switch, which is also dropping about a third of its price. I think Glen and I looked at the attachment rate of this one, and it was something insane, like half of every Switch owners had this game, but that still means that there's a half out there that have never played it. And if they've been waiting for the price drop, then I would say that this again is going to be one of those times to pick it up. It's an excellent adventure experience where you're given free rein to go off into the world and tackle the challenges that Ganondorf poses at your own pace. You'll be trying to defeat the divine beasts, which then in turn brings them back round to helping you fight him. There are little details and touches everywhere in the experience, like being able to climb trees, chop them down, use them to sail across rivers, and there's a real freedom and sense of verticality as you upgrade your stamina, allowing you to climb huge mountain peaks. A very good game with lots of Easter eggs hidden in it as well, and more than enough gameplay. Dragon Quest Builders 2 is an absolutely fantastic title. We were lucky enough to receive a copy from Nintendo, but never got around to a full review of it. It's excellent how they incorporate a full RPG experience with the building mechanics that you'd find in a game like Minecraft. Many of the quests will rely on your abilities to build and structure new elements, and they do an excellent job of creating full towns and cities that feel like any other major RPG. Performance isn't always incredible, but it doesn't detract from what is a brilliant experience. When you add in that you can play this with a group of friends, a 30% price reduction is a most tantalizing offer. Next up is one of the biggest reviews we've had on the channel, and it's Cadence of Hyrule. It was really nice to see Nintendo embracing some of these collaborations with third-party titles and allowing for their intellectual properties to be so lovingly adapted. I think it's fair to say that Cadence of Hyrule has all the quality and style of a first-party Nintendo title, but with a quirkiness and unique gameplay mechanic that just felt really fresh. Glen thoroughly enjoyed this one. We'll make sure there's a link down in the description if you'd like to check out his review. It's going on sale at a 30% reduction. Next up then is FIFA 20. Yeah, FIFA 20. I think if you get a coin and scratch hard enough on that 20, you'll find 19 underneath. This is FIFA 19 with new skins and players, etc. It really was a shoddy effort from EA, and well, it doesn't really receive our seal of approval. It's 30% off if you're interested. Following on from that, interesting one, we have Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, which is a huge 50% off on the eShop. Now, I know there are many of you out there who have watched maybe a few reviews of this, haven't been able to decide if it's for you. And for me, when Glen introduced me to the genre, it is something wholly unique. I can't really describe what it's like when you get a good group of friends in co-op and you're planning out your strategies for how you're going to take down these huge beasts. And the moment when they finally drop, there's nothing really like it in any other game. You'll be rewarded with new drops that you can then turn into new armors, and the cycle goes on. I can't tell you exactly how deep and rewarding this game can be, but I would strongly suggest, if you're even remotely interested, go check out our review. The link will be in the description, and consider picking it up, as it's going to be a huge 50% off. As I say, a great game. Next up then, we've got Dragonball FighterZ. Now, I haven't actually played this one, but Glen's mentioned it a few times as a very good title, but the main sticking point for most people has been the price. Even with its original RRP, it's still a worthy purchase, but now at 70% off, it's another one of those games where it's deceptively simplistic in its design, a really well-produced game that looks lovely, and for this price, I think you'd be a bit crazy to miss it. Dark Souls. Man, Dark Souls is a game-changing experience. Yes, every reviewer and their mum describes games as it's a bit like Dark Souls whenever something's slightly difficult, but until you've really experienced the game and finished it a good few times, beaten every boss, found every piece of armor, and died hundreds of thousands of times, you don't really appreciate how good a game it is. It can start out quite frustrating and slowly, but once you've mastered the movesets and done a few naked runs, you really do appreciate every little element of it, even the more janky moments. Brilliant game, excellent series, and I for one hope the other games come to the Switch. As it is though, we're seeing a nice little sale and a whopping 40% reduction in the price. Now, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 doesn't need a huge amount of introduction from me, but that being said, I know for a fact there are quite a few of you who have yet to pick it up. Not only does it have a brilliant expansion pack, I can tell you that you don't need to have played Xenoblade Chronicles, the first one, to enjoy this because, well, I hadn't. The game takes place on the back of these huge guardian creatures that have islands on their back, almost like a Discworld novel, where the whole of the Discworld takes place on the back of a giant turtle floating through space. The characters are well voice acted, if a touch irritating at times, and the combat is so incredibly deep. This is a brilliant game, and with the 30% price reduction, I'm afraid the wallet is going to take another sting.
I hear the Aegis awakened.
You know where she is?
Yes.
I can deal with that myself.
Next up is Wolfenstein Youngblood. I wouldn't say this was a must-buy game on sale, but it's such a big reduction. It's 50% off. And if you and maybe a friend were looking for a game that you could play through together, it's not a bad title. It got a lot of hate at launch. I didn't dislike it hugely in terms of the gameplay. I just didn't really gel with the characters. And yeah, I missed the main guy from the other games, BJ Blazkowicz. But half price, that's not a bad little investment. Last but not least then, we've got new Super Mario U Deluxe. It's got a 30% off sale in the EU. I think this one epitomizes the old but gold style of gameplay. It's funny because people often ask Glen and I, you know, what games do we play with our kids and things like that. This would be the perfect game to introduce to your younger players, while also having enough challenge for you to kind of show off your skills. And 30% off, now's the time to pick it up. Let me know down in the comments if you'll be picking up any of these games. I think it's nice to finally see a decent first party sale come to the Switch, but don't fret, this is only one of many Black Friday sales videos we're going to be doing, as there are 150 other games about to be announced. As if any of us have got any money left. A huge thanks to our patrons, they support us each and every month. Remember, we give away a free game to the subscriber as well as the patron most active on the channel. Now what that means, because I know some of you ask, it's not about spamming the chat, it's about actually engaging with the community, responding to each other and just being alright, really. That's how Glen and I judge it. So don't panic too much, just just be yourself. Thanks for watching, and as always, for all things Switch all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers guys, see ya!